And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. Boy, I hope you all survived a fantastic holiday weekend. With Halloween, yesterday I was over at my grandson Joey's house, and Joey and Johnny and the whole family got together. Joey does a haunted house in his garage. Turned out great. They must have had somewhere between 350, 400 kids show up. Unbelievable. It was magnificent. Well, you know what? Let's get the show started. I want you to know that on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and then we'll be continuing our news segment, our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey, and the rest of the story. And on today's show, I'm going to join Sean LaFave, and John and I are going to discuss health care on the Geared for Wellness Corner, and God only knows we'll talk about a lot of other things too. Really special day coming up on Thursday. Sean's going to be with us co-hosting for the entire 2-hour show, and that'll be really exciting. Well, I want you to know that at 3:01 p.m. Pacific time, it's currently 66 degrees, which is the high here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It was a little cloudy and overcast. They're saying no rain, but it sure looks like it outside. The rest of the week's going to be terrific, though. You know, that we're going to head for a low of 51 degrees. But you know what? It's sort of like, I'm glad to see it. It's not 104, 105 like it was just a couple weeks ago. But you know what? Let's get to it. I've abbreviated the news, got the top 10 items here that we can go over so you can talk to your friends and neighbors and they'll know that you know what's going on in the news. And then we'll get into a little more in-depth after that. Here are the 10 things that you need to know for Tuesday. Your daily look at late-breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that are going to be talked about all day today and probably all day tomorrow too for that matter. And right up at the top, Clinton fights back against Comey. The Democrat forcefully challenges the FBI's new email inquiry, declaring during a campaign rally in Battleground, Ohio, there's no case here. And troops push within a mile of Mosul's eastern border. Iraqi special forces are poised to enter the country's second largest city in an offensive to drive out Islamic State militants. And then, hey, the Pope makes common cause with Martin Luther. Yeah, you heard me right. The pontiff marks the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation by traveling to secular Sweden with a message of Christian unity. And then, defense critiques unreliable Cosby accusers. Here's the thing. The entertainer's lawyers say that memories of 13 women who could testify at his sex assault trial have been marred by time and media coverage of the case. Well, yeah, I guess. It's not so much the 13 women that have current cases. It's all the dozens before that. Anyway, where libertarian theories are being tested. In the Minneapolis suburb of Crystal, libertarians hold a majority on the city council and are trying to put their frugal small government ideas into practice. And a pipeline explodes in rural Alabama, injuring 7 workers. The blast sends flames soaring over the forest near where the same pipeline burst in September. That rupture led to gasoline shortages across the South, which means gasoline prices, right? Sometimes it's almost like it was not preordained, but planned, you think? How about this? What danger Zika might pose for men. Research shows that the virus ravages the testes of male mice, I should say, though it's not yet clear if the results apply to human beings. And CNN parts company with Donna Brazile. Yeah, the split is announced after WikiLeaks reveals that the former TV commentator tipped the Clinton campaign about a question that was going to be asked at a town hall. Wow, shame on you, Donna. And singer opens up in Zayn, I guess that's how you pronounce it. In his new book, the former One Direction member details why he decided to leave the top-selling boy band. And then finally, who's in familiar spot in the Hoops poll? Well, Duke is a runaway choice for number 1 in the AP's college presentation rankings. Yeah, that's for sure. And don't forget, pick up game 6, I guess it is today, of the World Series. You know, it's we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Cubs will win today, and they'll be tied, and then they'll go to Game 7. In hope for my son-in-law's sake that they win Game 7. That's the kind of where we're going to be and where it's going to go. Well, Time for us to get into some more in-depth news here for you, so we can talk about things with a little more detail. Right at the top, Clinton and Trump warn of a dire consequences if the rival wins. Both sides are saying that. Donald Trump could draw the United States into a nuclear war, Hillary Clinton warns. Clinton would plunge the country into a constitutional crisis, Trump says. Well, as the caustic presidential race launches toward the finish line, each candidate is aggressively casting the other as a catastrophic choice for the White House, making an affirmative case about their own qualifications and vision as become a secondary priority. It's an ugly conclusion to a contest featuring two of the most unpopular presidential candidates in modern American politics. The sexual assault accusations that have trailed Trump in the race's closing weeks in a new FBI review into Clinton's email habits seem likely to only reinforce the public's negative perceptions, leaving the candidates to essentially argue to voters that they're the best of the two unappealing options. Keep in mind that 70% of all Americans don't like either choice. Give that a shot. So you know what? Let's just get past that. I don't know about you guys. I'm just really getting sick of politics. That's all you hear about anymore. I can't wait for the election to be over and everybody to be crying in the beer, regardless of who actually wins the White House. But at least we can get some closure here. How about this? James Comey, the do the right thing guy in email maelstrom. You know what? The FBI Director James Comey once called it a crucial leadership test, anticipating whether a decision makes sense through the eyes of others. Now, his own big decision has Democrats and even some Republicans wondering whether he failed his own test. The FBI director, who prides himself on moral rectitude and a squeaky clean reputation, is being criticized from all sides for lobbing a stink bomb into the center of the presidential race. His disclosure that investigators have found more emails that may or may not relate to Democrat Hillary Clinton's use of the private email setup as Secretary of State has jolted the race and generated far more questions than answers. This isn't the first time Comey has found himself in a spotlight for taking a stand on what the 6'8" lawyer saw as the moral high ground. Perhaps the last previous thing many Americans heard about Comey was the tale of his dramatic rush to the bedside of then Attorney General John Ashcroft in the darkened hospital room in 2004 for a standoff with senior White House officials over federal wiretapping rules. Comey, serving as acting Attorney General during Ashcroft's illness, dashed to the bedside to block Bush administration officials from making an in-run to get Ashcroft's permission to reauthorize a secret no-warrant wiretapping program. That night was probably the most difficult night of my professional life, Comey testified before Congress in 2007. Well, that was probably until just now, I'm guessing. So give that some thought. You know what? We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Iraqi forces edge into Mosul. Major urban warfare lies ahead. And I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Don't go away. We've got some important things for you.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. Well, we're talking news, and the reason you heard the bomb, well, Iraqi forces edge into Mosul. A major urban warfare lies ahead. Iraqi special forces fought their way into the outskirts of Mosul today, taking its state television building despite resistance by Islamic State group fighters that is only likely to stiffen when combat reaches the inner city. It was the first time Iraqi troops have set foot in the city, Iraq's second largest in more than 2 years. The advance was the start of what is likely to be a grueling and slow operation for the forces as they fend off booby traps and ambushes and difficult house-to-house fighting expected to take weeks, if not months. Troops enter Gogali, a neighborhood inside Mosul's city limits, and later the outskirts of the more built-up Karama district, according to Major General Sami al-Aridi of the Iraqi Special Forces. As the sun went down, a sandstorm blew in, reducing visibility to only about 100 yards and bringing the day's combat to an end. Wow, can you imagine? It's going to get worse before it gets better, and that's just a shame. That's just the way it is, right? Sure it is. Well, you know what? We haven't heard enough about Bill Cosby, right? Here's some more stuff for you. Cosby's lawyers pressed the judge to exclude a deposition from the trial. So here's the deal. Bill Cosby's lawyers pressed a judge today to keep the comedian's damaging deposition in a decade-old lawsuit out of his sexual assault trial, saying Cosby agreed to answer questions under oath after being assured he wouldn't be charged with a crime. The defense has insisted Cosby had an oral promise from the district attorney at the time that he wouldn't be prosecuted over the 2005 sexual encounter with Andrea Constant, a former Temple University basketball manager. The judge previously refused to dismiss the charges on those grounds, but is now being asked to disallow the deposition when the case goes to trial in June. A new district attorney had Cosby arrested last year after the deposition was unsealed, and dozens of new accusers came forward. Cosby, now 79 years old and blind, has said his encounter with Constant was consensual. He could get 10 years in prison if convicted. He is free on $1 million bail. The Cosby Show star, once known as America's Dad, smiled as he arrived at the suburban Philadelphia courthouse with his entourage. Wow. Can you imagine? It's a shame. But where there's smoke, there's fire, but it is truly a shame. You know what? Also a shame? We've returned to the Stone Age. A quake levels an Italian city. Some houses are collapsed outright, panicked piles of stones and plaster. A pair of skis stick out. Some are cracked open neatly, exposing living rooms frozen in time. The central Italian mountain village of Castelluccio de Norcia, among the most heavily hit by Sunday's earthquake, is known for the beautiful blossoms of its lentil fields and its historic charm. Now, it's a ghost town. With the roads cut off, almost all of the 300 inhabitants were evacuated by helicopter. They all survived after an earlier quake in August prompted them to move into safer housing like camper vans or containers. But a small group of 13 hardy souls refuses to leave, mostly farmers though. They want to stay close to their cattle, sheep, and horses. Their livelihood, without which they would truly have nothing left to come back for. Practically, we've returned to the Stone Age, said Augusto Cochilla, 65 years old. He was among the farmers housed in containers in the town square, eating breakfast when the earthquake struck. It bounced the containers about and filled the air with a thick fog of dust. The 6.6 magnitude tremor, the country's most powerful in 36 years, pulled down buildings and historic churches and villages across the Apennine Mountains. In Castelluccio, the ground is now as much as 70 centimeters. That's about 2 feet lower, according to the National Geophysics Institute. This town's plight was worsened by the fact that the roads were cut off. Rescue helicopters brought in the bare necessities, food, water, and Sunday, but just a little else could happen. So you know what? Let's just see what happens. Cochilla and the others who stayed behind cook under an open sky with gas canisters. They have no heating, electricity, or constant water supply. The temperature drops to as low as a minus 6 Celsius. That's about 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, that's cold. That's below freezing, folks, at night. So give that a thought. The medical supplies were delivered to them today. It's been 3 days since they requested them, but it's very hard to get them to them. And that's what they said. You know, you'd think in this day and age, we could be more aggressive and progressive and get more things done. Yeah, it's just me thinking that, you know. Well, let's see what else. You know what? We've got a National Transportation Safety Board probing 2 buses Baltimore crash that killed at least 6 people. A school bus was blocks away from its first stop this morning when it rear-ended a car and then ricocheted off a roadside pillar into an oncoming commuter bus. The pre-dawn accident killed at least 6 people and injured 10, authorities say. There were virtually no skid marks at the crash scene, suggesting that the brakes of the school bus were not forcefully applied and leading to what Baltimore police spokesman T.J. Smith called a working theory that the driver had suffered some sort of medical emergency. The school bus driver was killed along with at least 5 people at the Maryland Transit Administration bus, Smith said. It literally looks like a bomb exploded in the bus. It's a catastrophic damage, Smith said. Wow. That's just sad. Just sad. Wouldn't it be nice if we had good news instead of just bad news? Yeah, it would. I think one of these days, what we might do is replace the bad news with things that are not bad, that are interesting, maybe even funny, maybe odd. We'll do that one day and see what happens. At least it gives us a better perspective on what's going on in the world other than just all this bad stuff. Now, don't go away, folks. We've got to take another short break. When we come back, we're going to lighten things up a little bit. We're going to talk about the IRS loses. And the first case we're going to talk about is a payment to a departing business owner is tax-free damages. And I will tell you all about that just as soon as we come back. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? I'm going to set the hair up on the back of your neck. I'm going to get chills up and down your spine. I'm going to talk to you about the IRS loses. Well, our first case, as I told you before, is a payment to a departing business owner is tax-free damages. So get this. Charles Wright, a minority owner in a company that he helped found, had a dispute with his fellow owners and left the firm, taking a large negotiated settlement. Now, more than $1.2 million of it was for personal injury that Wright treated as tax-free. But the IRS said that this description was a tax ploy that never would have been sustained in a trial and taxed the funds. Well, he went to court. This is what the judge said. Wright had suffered real emotional injury caused by his partners. His settlement was negotiated at arm's length, and it included large taxable payments for other items. All this indicates that the allocation to personal injury was made in good faith. So it's upheld, and it's going to be, you got it, tax-free. $1.2 million tax-free. Can you imagine? Yeah, that's sort of like about $500,000 worth of taxes this guy did not have to pay. Good for him. Now, does that make you smile? Yeah. Well, the IRS loses. Playing slots qualifies as a business. Yeah, get this one. This is really cool, guys. Now, Linda Myers had a full-time job, but also spent 40 hours a week playing casino slot machines. Now, she lost money and deducted her losses as business expense. But The IRS denied her deduction, saying playing slots is not a business. Well, she went to tax court because she needed to get some justice. This is what the judge actually said. Meyer spent full-time hours gambling, had a record of her activities through her casino card, and had a system of watching machines to determine which were most likely to pay off. Now, modified the system in light of the results and had hit enough jackpots to show that it was possible for her to have a profit. All this indicated that she had a profit motive. So her gambling was a business, and her losses were deductible. Go figure. That's the way it ought to be. Now, you heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff. That's where we're at right now with this segment we call Inside the IRS. Just a little bit like the Twilight Zone. Yeah, well, you know what? These are not actual tax court cases, but these are precedents, things that the IRS does and they've done, that if you know about them, you can actually use them to your advantage and should. So let me give you a couple of examples of that. Right off the top, did you know that you can claim additional damages to compensate for the income taxes that you're required to pay on a damage award that you receive? You think so? Well, here's the scenario. Let's just suppose that you sue for damages for lost profits, and say you worked overtime and were not paid for the extra hours, and you win. The lost profits award is taxable, so you argue that you should also receive enough to cover the tax hit. The losing party will argue that you would have had to pay those taxes on the profits anyway, so you're not entitled to the extra damages. Now, there's no easy answer to this thing. This is an emerging area in civil law. Now, state law varies, and the nature of the damages are going to control whether you are permitted to ask for extra tax damages. So the best advice I can give you is discuss this issue with your attorney before actually initiating the suit. This is not something you want to try and do on yourself. This isn't a self-help thing. You need to get a licensed professional to help you here. You know what? They're going to save you more money than they cost you. And it's sort of like, a lawyer who represents himself as a fool for a lawyer, a doctor who treats himself as a fool for a doctor. Don't even think you know about the tax law as much as the IRS does. You need to get a pro. How about this? You were audited and the IRS wants to reopen your case. Well, I can't tell you, that happens a lot. You know, only in very unusual circumstances, though, will the IRS attempt to re-audit an individual or a business after a case has actually been closed. To reopen a case, let's see here. There we go. Let me just answer that. There we go. Anyway, it's only in very few cases when they actually do that after a business has been closed to reopen it. Now, to reopen a closed case, the IRS must show that there was either fraud, malfeasance, concealment, or misrepresentation of a material fact on your part or an important mistake in mathematical calculations. Now, how should you proceed if the IRS wants to reopen your case? Don't agree to submit to another audit until the IRS provides you with a copy of its proof that there was fraud, concealment, all the rest of the stuff that I've already told you about. But you need to be careful here. This is a situation that could lead to criminal charges. You know, we're talking about those kind of charges where you have to spend weekends away from home in one of those federal resorts. So you need to be sure to obtain an experienced attorney to represent you, even if your accountant handled that first audit. This is not a place to have the accountant handle it again. You know, if you relish your freedom and you like to be going for walks and things like that, and you don't want to have handcuffs, then get a professional to represent you. That's the best advice I can ever give you. Now, do not go away, because we've got an exciting guy waiting in the wings, our own Sean LaFave and his Good for Wellness Corner. Going to be here right after these brief commercial messages. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from his personal meditation lounge in Orange County, California, a professional dedicated to conquering many chronic conditions from autism to weight loss and everything in between. The nationally recognized wellness coach, consultant, and lecturer, Sean Lefebvre, in his Geared for Wellness Corner.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:33 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 66 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's the high for today. It's a little cloudy and overcast outside. Tomorrow they're telling me it's going to be sunny. Today they're telling me it's not going to rain, but it sure looks like it's going to. In any event, if you're listening to us in our globally syndicated network and you're in New York City, well, it's 56 degrees and it's overcast. And if you're in Chicago, Illinois, it is 74 degrees and partly cloudy. But you know what? While I'm thinking about it, if you are in Cleveland and you're waiting for the World Series to start, it is 77 degrees and it is clear. And you know what, guys? I have it on good authority. The Chicago Cubs are going to win tonight to make it another tie and finish this thing in 7 games. That's what's going on. Hey, if you're waiting for something really important to happen, well, hang on to your hat, strap yourself in. It's going to happen right now, because here's our old good buddy, Sean Lefebvre. Hey, Sean, how you doing, buddy?
Great, Robert. How are you doing?
I'm on a ride that I can't hardly wait for. I don't know. I was getting ready to say something and I couldn't come up with the words. So the hell with it.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna wager that the Indians are gonna win.
You think so?
Yeah.
You know what? If the Indians win, when you're here for our co-hosting show on Thursday, I will give you a glass of champagne.
Deal. That is a deal.
All right. And if
they don't win, then you give both of us a glass of champagne.
That's right. I'm going to win either way, so that doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I have no idea who's going to win. I just figured since you said the Cubs were going to win, I would draw. It's amazing that I even know who the other team was, because I just don't watch sports at all.
Well, you know what? I think I mentioned it to you before. I don't really follow sports a lot, but I do watch the championship games. You know, if it's a championship fight or a championship a baseball game or the Super Bowl, I do watch those things. And why I haven't got a clue, because I don't watch any of the games, right? But this particular series is kind of important to me because my son-in-law has been a Chicago fan, whether it be the Bears or the Cubs, forever. And in fact, the Bears won last night too. So here's the thing: he's just so excited about this whole thing that I'm really not rooting for the Cubs. I'm rooting for my son-in-law.
Well, fair enough then. And I'll root for the Cubs too, but I still want to see the. Actually, I guess I can't. I guess if they win tonight, then it's over, right?
Well, yeah. If Cleveland wins tonight, it's over. But if the Cubs win tonight, then they're tied up again, and three each, and then tomorrow will be the call. And I told my son-in-law at the beginning of the first game, at the end of the first game, because there was a shutout. The Cleveland shut out the Cubs. And I said, "Hey, don't worry about it. This is going to go 7 games, and then the Cubs are going to win. So don't worry about it." Now, I've got my word on the line here. So something better happen good.
Yeah, they've got to win 2 in a row now. It's funny. We were talking about this Thursday. About just watching the games and stuff, and I was telling you how I found out. Because my mom said something to me about the game, and I'm like, "What game?" And she's doing World Series baseball. The bat stick, but she actually watches, and this is something I didn't know. I just learned talking to her Thursday, I can't remember when we were talking about it, but anyway, when she was telling me about, she watches the World Series every year, and has since she met my dad. It's actually my stepdad, but Art. So she met him. What happened was they were working together. And there was some sort of like a betting pool thing, and he said, "Hey, you're going to do the pool?" And she said, "No, I'm not going to do that stupid thing," kind of. And he said, "Oh, come on!" And so they ended up watching the game together. I guess they went out. It wasn't really like per se a date, but they went out and hung out together, and they ended up watching the game. And they had so much fun that they've watched the World Series together every single year, of course, until he passed a couple of years ago. So she still now goes and she watches the games.
Well, Sean, that's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful story.
Absolutely. So I thought I would share, because I know whatever we're going to talk about today is not going to be always so.
Well, you know what? I mean, I have this uneasy feeling that you and I are thinking the same thing, and that is that neither one of us know what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, well, we don't know what we're going to be talking about. That's for sure. But I have a feeling I just can't resist the urge. I know we're going to bring up politics at some point.
Politics. Politics? Why would we bring up politics?
Right.
There's nothing happening in the gutter today.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing left to talk about. That's the problem.
You know what? I was talking about it earlier when we were doing the news comments. I mean, I think it's such a shame that we only have that we only have. I think it's such a shame that we still have 7 days to have to endure all this BS to wonder about who's going to win the White House, considering that 70% of all the United States citizens don't like either one of them.
Yeah, well, you don't have to like Trump, but he's not under investigation. He hasn't broken any laws. Whoa, wait a minute. You don't say that. Don't say he's never been under investigation and that he's never broken any laws, because we all know that that's not true. It's just that I'm saying he's not under investigation. I didn't say he's never been under investigation. I'm saying he's not right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, maybe he. I'm sure he has broken laws.
Yeah,
we all have. But I'm talking, nothing.
Well, nothing compared to this lady who won't wear a skirt.
Yeah. What?
We know who wears the pants in her family, don't we?
Oh, yeah, they won't wear a skirt. That's true. She doesn't. She dresses like what's his name? I can't think of his name. The North Korean leader. She dresses like him.
Oh yeah.
Kim Jong Il. Yeah. That's who she dresses like. I'm like, where did she get her fashion sense from?
Oh,
but that's neither here nor there. But I'm just, when I heard that it's funny how Comey was a hero to the left when he closed the case, and he was the most righteous, upstanding man on the face of the planet. And all of a sudden, he reopens the case, and now he's this horrible, unethical person who's trying to, throw the election. And oh my gosh!
But where this focus really ought to be, Sean. Here's the reason that Comey was kind of hung out to dry. He's sitting out there all by himself, and normally the Attorney General, the head of the Department of Justice, would be in this thing, but no, she can't, because she had to recuse herself because she allowed Bill Clinton to walk across the tarmac and sit down for 45 minutes with her on her airplane with nobody there to tell him what the heck was being talked about at the same time that Hillary's case was coming up.
Yeah, we have the highest authority in the land when it comes to law enforcement, and she pleads the fifth.
Yeah.
So she doesn't self-incriminate. I'm like, of all the people who should be upfront and forthright and talking, it should be her. The fact that she has to plead the fifth is unbelievable to me.
Well, she didn't plead the fifth. She had to recuse herself because of that meeting. I gotta be honest with you. That just doesn't that sound like the timing was just a little too coincident?
No, of course.
That's baloney. That whole thing was planned for that purpose.
So what she did was recusal. It wasn't. I thought she actually pled the fifth.
Oh no, she had nothing to take the fifth on. She just recused herself so she wouldn't have to make the decision, and that it fell on Comey to do that.
For some reason, I thought I saw something that she was. That she.
Well, no, because she's not accused of anything. There's nothing for her to take the fifth on. She just had to recuse herself because she actually had that meeting with numbnuts and couldn't actually do anything as a result of that because that was actually what was going on.
I know it's the whole thing. I'm just so floored that this has gotten to the point. And I mean the very first thought I had when this all came out. When Hillary Clinton said, she demanded that Comey turn over all of the information that they have, my first thought was, had she turned over all of her emails and had Huma Abedin turned over all of her emails when they were told to do so months ago, this we wouldn't have an issue of this being poor timing.
Well, how many millions and millions of dollars have been expended that didn't have to be in just with the concept that they needed to get a hold of her emails. I mean, first of all, we've got a do nothing Congress that the only thing they could do was to investigate her with no meat to it. They couldn't force her to do anything, and then finally it had to be the FBI that brought this thing to a close. They brought it to a close, saying that she was not exonerated. She was guilty of all those things, but no prosecutor would prosecute the case. And now they come by in 7 days, or actually 10 days before the election, they bring it up again. There's something really, you know what? I hate to coin a phrase, but something's rigged.
Oh yeah, of course they're rigged. And gosh, I can't. Brazil, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
In Brazil.
Yeah.
CNN had to cut ties with her because she fed the questions to Hillary Clinton for the debates. And it's like, I don't know how much proof people need to go, there's this is rigged. I mean, look at when it first came out, Fox News came out with a report that the case was being it was reopened or whatever.
Whoa, you're jumping in the wrong spot here. You're talking about Donna Brazil and what she did wrong, and she got fired for it. But what she did wrong was she should never have told them what the questions were to begin with, but most certainly not tell one side and not the other.
Right, exactly. Well, no, that's my point. Is I'm making is with the whole Fox News here thing and the case being reopened is Fox News aired it, and it was at least an hour before I saw it on any other major network.
Yeah.
Like they didn't want to air the fact that now this reinvestigation is being looked into again, and that now we have a presidential candidate who is officially under investigation from the FBI. And it's like are the machines rigged? Not. I don't know. but is the system rigged? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The system's rigged.
Now you make you make a really valid point, and that is that everybody's worried about the machines being rigged and the internet, but none of these machines are tied to the internet. They're all independent machines, not even tied to any central location. And so and they're just for counting purposes or tabulating purposes. No way to rig those machines, but the system. You hit the nail right on the head. The system is absolutely rigged. Because you know what? They were calling this election for Hillary even before the primaries were over.
Yeah. They've been acting like Hillary Clinton for president was the only option.
And you know who really got screwed? Bernie Sanders.
Oh my gosh, terribly so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, terribly so.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. It's that alone. What her camp did to Bernie Sanders should be enough to disqualify her from running for president.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean,
nobody cares. Like,
she's worried about her computers being hacked. Well, she hacked Bernie Sanders' computers before anybody did anything else.
Yeah.
You know, do you remember that? They got all into his computers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I totally remember that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched this whole thing. It just boggles my mind. I just cannot fathom for the life of me how there are people out there who still think that Hillary Clinton is the best candidate that we could possibly have.
Yeah.
You know, I'm floored by it. I'm just absolutely floored by it. And I have such a hard time wrapping my mind around it. I can't. I saw a woman who I was actually at a birthday party for a friend, and the funny thing was most of the people there are very conservative. Because Orange County is like the only really truly conservative part of
the entire state. It's only Orange County.
Yeah,
that has a proliferation of conservatives. I mean, there's conservatives in all the counties, but not like there is in Orange County.
Yeah. I mean, they're all over the state, but Orange County has the largest percentage of conservatives in the state of California. The rest of the state is pretty darn liberal. In fact, I was talking to a friend about that. I said, there's no way Donald Trump will win California. Even with, I mean, they could lock her up in prison and California would still vote for her, you know?
Well, yeah, but I think that would be a great idea if they put her into a California prison.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
You know?
But anyway, I was at this party and this woman walks in. She was part of the party too. She had this big blingy, shiny Hillary button on, and literally like half the people there didn't even want to talk to her. Well, like, I mean, one of the guys was like, he just went off. He sat down, he looked over, saw it, and he got up and walked to the other end of the table. He didn't want to sit next to her, and he's like, he might as well wear a button that says "I'm an idiot." You know,
Sean. You know what bothers me more than all of this, because I truthfully, I can't stand Hillary Clinton, and I've got real fear about Donald Trump, but I can't stand Hillary Clinton. And the lesser of the two evils for me is Donald Trump. But what really bothers me is that the two of these people are waging the nastiest presidential campaign I've ever seen. There is no polish. There is no professionalism. They're both instigating crimes. They're both trying to instigate their followers to cause troubles and do all this shit. I got to tell you, I'm just sick of this whole thing. I wish that there was a way they could say, hey, you know what? You're both disqualified, and we're going back to the primaries.
Yeah, and it's not just them; it's the entire country. Yeah, like people out there look at you like there's something wrong with you because you support one person or the other. I mean, like literally, people will make you feel like you should feel guilty, like you're a moron, like you're stupid because you support one person or the other.
Oh, you know what? But you know, have you heard the term about the closet? What's the word? How do I want to put this? These are closet voters that their affiliation may be Democrat or it may be Republican or independent, whatever it is, but they call them closet voters. They back into the booth and they don't vote the way that they tell you they're going to vote because they're too embarrassed to tell you who they're really going to go for, regardless of which side they're really on.
Yeah.
You know, and and what a travesty
we've got
that
a lot more of those now than we used to.
Yeah, and what a sad epitaph for this country that voters can't say who they're going to vote for because it's embarrassing.
Yeah. Or people like I said something to we were talking to some friends and I still support Trump. You know, I don't even look at him as the lesser of two evils. I just don't. I know he's got his flaws, and there's a lot of problems he has. But there's,
well, you know what Trump's biggest fault is. It's not that he's the lesser of two evils. And I probably shouldn't have said it that way. But he is certainly not a communicator. He's a well-educated guy. He's a successful guy, but he's not really a good communicator, and that's what keeps getting him into trouble.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, he's abrasive, and I can deal with that. That's not a personality flaw that bothers me. It bothers a lot of people. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I've been called abrasive myself many times, so I'm not really worried about that. Yeah, I know, right? but when I was talking to these friends of mine, I said I wouldn't be opposed to putting a Trump sticker, a bumper sticker on my car if I wasn't worried about the fact that someone would vandalize my car.
Oh, you know what? That's the last thing you want to do, because you could just kiss your car goodbye. It would go up in flames.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter,
that someone would vandalize my vehicle just because it's got a Trump sticker on it.
Well, you know what's interesting, Sean? You know what's interesting? Yeah. Now that you mention it, I don't think I've seen a sticker for anybody.
Well, I've seen a couple of Hillary stickers.
Have you?
I've seen Trump stickers too. They're usually pretty bold and huge, and I've seen some that were really almost the entire car.
I must be not paying attention, because I haven't noticed it. But I can tell you, in my whole, cars cost too much money for me to put somebody's sticker on my bumper and mess it up. I just don't do it. I'm not going to do it for anybody. I don't care who it was. I would put a yard sign.
You don't see the stickers like you used to. Yeah, and that's another thing. Even the yard signs are all getting stolen.
Yeah.
People are going around stealing Trump signs. Like really? It's just, I don't get it. I love those videos of, the guys hooking up electric fence generators up to their signs. Someone tries to steal them, it shocks them. It's terrible though. There's video after video after video of these people going in and stealing these signs out of people's yards, and I'm going, why? The left is supposed to be this group that stands for peace and love and no fighting, and they're the ones that are causing all the problems more than anybody else right now.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are rioting. They're the ones that are stealing signs and destroying cars, and I'm going, what happened to the left? I thought the left was supposed to be peaceful. They've proven themselves very wrong in that, and that's what I think the biggest thing that comes out of this election is we've just seen what I've seen so much during this election is the ugliness of human, just the human nature.
Well,
and I've seen it so much that I just go, why is it? And I had someone made a really good point. Said, the last time it was really this ugly was when Carter and Reagan were running against each other. It got really nasty. People were, kind of guilting each other, and it really, it was a lot of negativity towards both sides. But once Reagan became president, and people started getting jobs, and he started making the country a better place, then everyone just calmed down, and we were all good, and everyone got along together. But before that, Democrats, he said, people he was in a carpool, and he said half the people in the carpool were Democrat, and the other half were conservative, because we didn't even talk at all during the drive. I
don't know why you remind me of a case, and you may not remember this because it's so long ago. When Ronald Reagan was running for governor, the first time governor of the state of California, he was running against Pat Brown Sr., the old man, not the young kid that's there now. His dad, and that was a nasty one too. I don't know if you remember or not, but Pat Brown Sr. on commercials on television would say, "Just remember, it was an actor that killed President Lincoln."
Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I mean, some of these things get really, really nasty. But you know what? In my lifetime, and I've lived a nice life, been around a long time. I remember when Truman was leaving office, Eisenhower was coming in. I remember the all that stuff. I have never seen as much vitriol in a campaign as I have in this one. And I'm not talking about just between the two candidates. Even in the primary, when there was the 16 guys against Trump, and of course just Bernie against, I don't think it was anybody besides Bernie.
I know there were other Democrats, but no one can tell you a single person.
Yeah, how come I can't? Boy, that's dumb.
Nobody cared about them.
Yeah, well, they still don't.
No, they still don't. Yeah, but you're right, and I've heard that exactly what you just said. I've heard that time and time again. Everyone is saying, people who've been around long enough to see several elections, they're going, it's never been this mean and nasty and hateful ever.
How do you respect somebody that's going to go into the White House, represent you to the nations around the world as being the commander in chief and president of the strongest, freest nation on earth, and yet know how they treated each other? I mean, the respect that they treated each other with, or should I say, disrespect? I mean, that's not who I want to have be my president.
Yeah, it's funny. You expect that, between Democrat versus Republican, but when all those Republicans did nothing but just say horrible things about each other, my thought process the whole time was, one of these guys could very well end up being the next president, and the rest of you got to work underneath him. The only one who wouldn't have to is Donald Trump. The rest of them are all politicians. They're still,
you look at John Kasich today. He goes out and he voted an absentee ballot because he was going someplace. He wasn't going to be around. And they asked him who he voted for president. He says, I wrote in John McCain. Well, you know what? You can't do that. Because it's in his state, that's not even legal. It's a vote that's not even going to count, right? And then you go to Florida, and they had what the heck was the young kid's name? I can't think of his name. It just went blank. He was running for president too. What was his? They was talking about the size of
Marco Rubio.
Yeah, Marco Rubio is there. He going in. They asked him, "Well, who'd you vote for president?" He says, "I voted for who you would expect me to vote for. I voted for my party." But he won't say his name, won't say his name. And then, of course, the Bushes, because there is this nuclear war going against the Bushes and Donald Trump. And the Bushes now are castigating Comey for this latest email thing going on. Listen, we got to take a break. We're running a minute over. When we come back, I want to ask you something about one of the California things that are going on based on what's going on in Colorado regarding pot. So I want to lay a premise out and get your idea on it. So we'll be right back with Sean LaFave and Geared for Wellness right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently it's still 66 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Now it says it's on the way down to 50 degrees. That'll be nice. You know what? Maybe summer is over, but I at least I hope it is. But you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Torrance, California, well, you know what? It's 67 degrees and it is clear and it is sunny. But you know what? Here's one from my good buddy Sean LaFave. If you're in Wichita, Kansas, it is 80 degrees and it is mostly cloudy and it is humid as hell. Guess where he's going to be in a few weeks? Yeah. Oof. Oof. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't mind the heat. I don't mind the heat. I just don't like that humidity. It just kills me every time.
Hey, listen, Sean, I wanted to talk to you a little bit because, you know, we got this referendum on the ballot here in California with regard to legalizing pot for recreational purposes. And, you know, I guess the poster boy for that would be the state of Colorado right now. And it's not all that it's supposed to be. I mean, they've made something like $130 million in extra taxes and stuff like that, but there's costs involved in it too. But one of the things that I saw, and I wanted to ask you about it was, when it comes down to the births in Colorado now, they're finding that since they have legalized pot for recreational purposes and people aren't having to hide it anymore, even though it has not eliminated the black market for pot, but it really has got more people not worried about being arrested, I guess. But here's one for you. 23% of the newborn births test positive for THP. That's a big percentage in Colorado.
Yeah, that's yeah. You know, and it's like anything else. Obviously, you know that's.
But that's isn't that a developmental deal? I mean, your brain doesn't stop developing until you're what, 13, 14 years old, something like that?
Yeah, at least. Actually, your brain doesn't actually technically fully develop until you're about 25 years old.
That's the problem.
Yeah. That's why so many people make stupid decisions in college and everything else. Well, you notice it's funny. I don't know if it's still the same, but you know, when you would get car insurance, remember 25 was the age where you would get the last discounted rate.
Oh yeah,
you get a discount at 18, and then at 21, and then at 25. And then, you know, you got another one when you're married, and you got one because you were a woman instead of a guy. You know?
Well, but you know, historically, the guys paid a higher premium than women did, even when they were teenagers.
Yeah. Guys have always paid higher.
Yeah.
You know, they say that men are more aggressive drivers. But you know, I have a theory about that too. I don't know. I'm sure men are definitely more aggressive. I don't know if they cause more accidents or not.
Well, no. Hang on. I want to go back to this. I really want to deal with this pot thing. We're talking about. But yeah, I you know, that's like you know, it's like anything else. I don't know if THC causes birth defects or developmental issues. I really don't. I've never researched it before. But in this article that I read, that's exactly what it said, that it blocks the development of the human brain.
Yeah, I would believe that. I mean, that's what I was just about to say. Though logically, it would make sense that it's going to have an effect somehow. You know, how exactly it's going to affect it, whether, you know, it affects pleasure senses or well,
you know what this doctor said? This doctor said that this is it THC or what is it?
Yeah, it's THC.
Okay, THC. THC attaches itself to fats and fatty things, and apparently the brain has the most fat in the whole body. Is made up of mostly fats, and so that's why that goes in there, and it restricts the development of the brain.
Right, and that makes perfectly good sense. And obviously pot, it's like anything else, like alcohol or any smoking, or if you're pregnant, you should cease using it. And then so I don't know that legalizing it is going to make it any. I don't know if. If they ever tested women before.
Well, but you know what we do there. Yeah, but you know what we don't have. Yeah, but in Colorado, they're starting to do a lot of things. And the governor of Colorado was saying that he wished that he had a basis of starting it to where this was at before, as opposed to where it's at right now. But another question it brings up, and you just brought that up for me just now, and that is, okay, if 23% of the newborns today test positive for marijuana, then what percentage test positive for alcohol addiction? Because you know what, are these women, you hear about women, hey, I can't drink, I'm pregnant. I can't drink, I'm pregnant. How many of them ignore that? What percentage do you think that is?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's and I don't know what the percentage is, but I bet it's probably an alarming number. And there are ones that smoke. They don't quit smoking when they're pregnant, and I mean, there's babies that are born addicted to crack. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on. So yeah, that would be my biggest question: is what was, like you said, he wishes he had a baseline. What percentage of babies had THC in their system before it was legal? Was it only 19% and it went up to 23%? Okay, that's not statistically significant.
Yeah.
If it was 5% and it went to 23%, then okay, we have a problem we need to address. But but if it was only a small change and not significant, then you go, okay, legalizing is not going to have a real effect on this. So yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. First of all, how do they test babies for THC? Do they have to get the parents' permission to do that?
Well, no. I think when the babies are born, they automatically do a blood test, don't they?
I don't know. My son was born
in hospitals. I think they do a blood type immediately. I think at birth.
Oh, do they?
I think so.
Yeah, but you think that you would have to give them permission to run any kind of tests that they're going to run, regardless. Just because they draw the blood from the baby doesn't mean that they have the right to run whatever test they want.
No, but I'm guessing that if you give birth at a hospital, they're trying to make sure that baby is healthy. There's nothing wrong, and that usually starts with with the blood test and platelets and all the rest of it.
Sure, and I agree with that, but I'm wondering legality wise, because the parent has to authorize anything that they do. You think that even running a lab test, you would have to authorize. Okay, is it okay if we test for platelets? Is it okay if we test for whatever cancer markers? Can we test for marijuana? You think that you would have to have permission to do all that? And
I'm guessing that when they admit you to the hospital and you sign there on the dotted line, I think whether you know it or not, you did it.
Yeah, exactly. You probably just signed a blank check saying that they can do whatever they want to. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and I'm not.
And most people don't think, they just sign. Okay, here you go. Great, thanks. Yeah, so they don't want to read through pages of.
And I just worry about the helpless infants. That's all. I just, it's not. I'm not making a judgment about the people that smoke pot or the people that drink or those kinds of things. I'm thinking about the health of the infant. That's all.
And I agree with you. Yeah, and it is something that it certainly needs to be addressed. And and I like I said, I wonder what the difference is between before it was legalized and afterwards. And certainly there's going to be a developmental issue, but how significant is it? What is it? Maybe it just makes the person just more chill. And I really don't know. I don't know what it does, as far as long run permanent. But I just, you would think that maybe some of that money, that tax money, would go into education and teaching people. Look, we talk about drink responsibly. Well, you're going to have smoke responsibly in commercials. Well, you don't do it while even cigarettes have a warning about don't do this when you're pregnant or whatever.
Well, no, they have a warning that says that what do they call the chief doctor, the attorney, Surgeon General. Yeah, the Surgeon General has determined that smoking causes cancer, not may cause cancer, but causes cancer. So that's speaking of smoking, I don't, but every once in a while I get talked into into a cigar. Well, last night we were celebrating Halloween, and I was sitting out in the driveway. My grandson Joey does this haunted house thing all the time. So his dad and we sit out in the driveway. We put a big, like a fire bucket kind of thing out there, and we're having a cocktail and smoking a cigar. And I got to tell you, I now know why I don't smoke, because I woke up this morning thinking that a herd of buffalo took a crap in my mouth. I got to tell you, Jesus Christ.
That's
why
the one thing that I like about cigars is the aftertaste. And it stays all night, and you wake up in the morning, and I've been told that my breath smells horrendous the morning after. But to me, the taste isn't bad, though. I actually like the aftertaste of a cigar.
Marlene made me take a shower last night before I went to bed because I reeked of cigar.
Yeah, that's the only problem with cigars is that odor is strong, and it gets into everything. Yeah,
but I got to admit, I did enjoy it.
Smoke, though.
Oh yeah, I did enjoy it. I got to give you that. And it was a lot of fun. But when you talked about smoking, I kept thinking to myself, gosh, do I want to admit this or not? But the truth is, I think having a cigar once a year is not going to hurt anybody.
Yeah, there's no having a cigar once a week isn't going to hurt you. I doubt. Do you even? Are you like Bill Clinton style here? You don't inhale.
Oh no, I didn't. A cigar? Are you kidding me? I'd still be coughing,
exactly.
or in a coffin.
I know people who do smoke cigars and they inhale. And I'm
really?
Gosh, how do you do that? Yeah. Oh, but me, you just puff it in, get a swish it around in your mouth, and blow out the smoke. But yeah, I don't inhale them either.
Sean, I got to tell you, I brushed my teeth, and I have one of these electric toothbrushes. I brushed my teeth, and I used this water pick, and I got that thing in there, and I did that, and I actually wound up brushing them twice, and I used mouthwash, and I had one of these tongue scraper things, and I used that. I did everything I could do, and I still woke up this morning doing it again.
Yeah. You don't get rid of the cigar aftertaste easily. It sticks around for a while.
Yeah, but the scary part last night when I actually was trying to get that taste out of my mouth and the breath and all the rest of it, when you do the tongue scraper, and I don't know how many people use that. I do it religiously. Boy, when you scrape your tongue that first time, and that tar from that cigar, that crud that comes off your tongue, you look at that and my God, where else did this stuff land?
Wow, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never used the tongue scraper. I know people who do. Yeah. And I've heard that it's kind of refreshing, I guess. I don't know what else.
Your tongue is made of, it has all kinds of sensory things, and your tongue is not a solid thing on the top. And so what you eat and the things that are going in there, you can actually clean some of those out of there. It's one of the causes of bad breath is that the residual food that gets in your tongue that you don't get out of there when you're actually brushing. Why am I talking about this?
I don't know. This is oral health. We're supposed to be talking about health, and your oral health, your oral microbiome is key for overall health. That's like I tell people all the time. You've heard the old saying, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah. Has anyone ever really thought about that? Like, why would you look in the mouth? Well, when people used to go buy horses, the first thing you do is look at the teeth. Yeah. And if the teeth were healthy, then they assumed, okay, the rest of the horse must be. If the teeth were in bad shape, then they just assumed that the horse was unhealthy. And so, yeah, did we talk about this new toothpaste that I started using a few months ago?
No.
So this is a perfect segue for it, and I'm so excited about this toothpaste. And matter of fact, the inventor, a guy named Jerry Curatola, I'm actually going to see him on Friday, and I'm so excited to show him my results. So I'm horrible at taking care of my teeth. I hate flossing. I know nobody likes to floss, but I just made it my mission. I got to find.
You know that you don't have to floss. You only have to floss those teeth that you want to keep.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I apparently I don't want to keep any of my teeth. I don't mind if the dental hygienist flosses my teeth for me. I just don't like doing it to myself. I don't know why. I don't like it. And I've tried to get in the habit, and I'll go for like 3 days, maybe 4 tops, and then I'm done. And I don't like doing this. And so I use the Sonicare, the vibrating toothbrush. Mm-hmm. I know that's better. And I've tried all kinds of different toothpastes, and my goal is to try to find a way to have healthy teeth where I don't have to floss. And there have been cultures, throughout the world. Weston Price, if you want to read some really interesting stuff, go to the Weston A. Price Foundation website. Weston Price was a dentist who traveled the world and studied, health and what brought people health. And he found, villages like there was a village in Switzerland, where he said all the people had this green kind of film over their teeth. Their teeth weren't pretty, but he said when you go in and you clean all the green, he goes, they're perfectly healthy teeth underneath.
Yeah, they just weren't unwrapped yet.
Yeah, exactly. Just weren't unwrapped. It was that plastic wrap like it goes on your computer.
Yeah.
And so there's different cultures. Like you look at Africa. You see these pictures of like these missionaries that go to Africa, and there's all these kids, and they're smiling, and they all have perfect teeth.
Yeah.
And you're going, why do kids in Africa who are supposedly poor and malnourished, why do they all have perfect teeth? And kids here in the United States get jacked up teeth and they all need braces, And, there's ways of living your life that lend itself to all forms of health, including oral health. And so I thought, culturally, we've been able to exist as human beings without dental floss for thousands of years. So surely it must not be that important, and or God would have put it in our fingers or something. When I think God would have given me a finger that was skinny enough to floss my teeth if He thought I really needed to do it.
Actually, God, what He did was He let your hair grow, and you're supposed to use that as dental floss. And somebody created a barber instead, so you can't do that anymore.
My hair's too short. I need to be more like Fabio and grow it out long. So anyway, so I went to that seminar that I went to in Utah, not this last one, but the one that I went to like 4 months ago, right? Jerry Giratola was there talking, and he was just absolutely fascinating. And I love dentistry in general. I think it's if I could go back and do it all over, that's probably what I would pursue is dentistry. And I just think it's a fascinating profession, and oral health is really so important, and dentists are just respected in general. People may not like going to them, but they don't think that they're quacks or anything weird, And anyway, so he's doing this fascinating talk, and he's talking about this toothpaste. It's called Revitin. And it's actually a second generation. I guess he had created one before. And what it is, of course, you hear about people taking probiotics, which a probiotic is basically just a bunch of bacteria. It's like millions, billions of bacteria. And so this is instead, and there are people who make a probiotic toothpaste. This toothpaste that has probiotics built into it. Well, his thing is, you don't need the probiotic. What you need is to nourish the good bacteria that's in your oral microbiome. So he created this toothpaste it's kind of a citrusy flavor. It's kind of like an orangey kind of flavor.
Give the name again. Give the name again.
Revitin, Revitin, Revitin. Okay. And it's not cheap. It's $15 a bottle, and it's not a big bottle. It's like smaller than like your normal like Crest or Colgate,
it's not.
right?
It's not a paste. It's a bottle. It's a liquid?
Well, it's a toothpaste. I say bottle, but I mean it's a tube. I mean, okay. I meant tube, not bottle. I say bottle, but it's a tube of toothpaste. Yeah, so it comes out just like regular toothpaste. Mm-hmm. You don't need very much of it, though. You use just a little tiny dab of it. Mm-hmm. And but what it has what they call prebiotics in it. It's the nourishment that the bacteria your oral microbiome need in order to thrive. And so, his thought was, well, feed the good bacteria, and you don't need to worry about anything else. You don't need all this other stuff. You don't need chemicals. You don't need, all these different things they put in these toothpastes, right? And I've used all kinds. I've used everything from Colgate to Crest to Tom's to just using coconut to, like coconut oil.
Baking soda.
Baking soda. I've tried everything. Right? Yeah, baking powder, baking soda, whatever. Baking soda, I think. And I've tried everything. And so, but I got a hold of this stuff, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try it, and I'm not going to change anything else. I'm again terrible.
Before you give these results, were you having a problem prior to this use?
Yeah. So I was actually going to talk about the beginning, and so I've had the slow progressive degeneration of my gums.
Okay, now stop right there, because we're going to take a break, and when we come back, you're going to continue that story. We're talking to our own Sean LaFave in a Geared for Wellness Corner, and he's going to gum you to death. Now I'm beginning to understand some of these breathing problems that he has. We'll be right back with Sean right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay a great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And now, if you didn't know what that sound effect was, that was a dentist's drill. You know, the thing is we were talking about to Sean Lefebvre, and he has this new toothpaste that he's using, and it adjusts the bacteria, or it helps feed the bacteria in your mouth, I guess is how it works. Sean, were you talking about tooth decay or gum deterioration?
Well, in my case, it would be, yes. Because they call it periodontal disease, but yes, it's gum. It's my teeth aren't. Most people don't have a problem with. Well, I guess tooth decay is like when you get a cavity, but most people when they have, it's a gum disease. It's periodontal disease. So your gums are actually receding. Like you've heard, and again, we're going back to these old sayings that nobody uses anymore except me and like really old people. But hey,
easy with that.
Speaking of really old people, you've heard this. You've heard the saying before, oh, he's getting a little long in the tooth. If I said that to someone who was 25 years old, they'd go, what are you talking about? What does that even mean? But you and I both know that means that he's getting up there and he's getting older.
Yeah.
And the reason, of course, is because as you get older, your gum recedes if it's not healthy, and it exposes more of the tooth, so your tooth looks longer. It's actually, the tooth isn't getting any longer, it's just the gum is receding back away from the tooth.
Right.
And so, they came up with that old saying that he's getting a little long in the tooth, but to say he's getting older. But yeah, for what I'm talking about now for myself was specifically, I haven't had a cavity in a very long time,
mm-hmm.
but I was getting this decay in my gums. And so how when you go to the dentist and they have that little gauge, it looks like a little piece of metal, and they shove it up into your gums. It's really uncomfortable, and they do like 3 points on each side of the tooth, like the edge of the tooth, the middle, and the other edge of the tooth, and then they do it on the inside and the outside, and they take your reading. And of course, it's supposed to be a 3 or less.
Yes, the pocket depth. It's the pocket depth of the gum, right?
Right, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So they test those, and my worst one that I had was an 8. Which is really bad, and of the teeth that I had, the ones that were marked as being in a state of periodontal disease, meaning I was having I had gum disease. Mm-hmm. It was 21 of my teeth. Okay, this was 4 months. This was about 4 months ago. All right. So I'm horrible at taking care of my teeth. I'm just not good at it. Mm-hmm. Right. And again, I've been looking forever for a way to make it easy. And so I
have you ever thought about false teeth?
Well, yeah, I could do that. That would work. That's probably where I was headed if I didn't find a fix.
Yeah. And that's actually sad.
Yeah, it is. That's a tough way to go. So I see Jerry Cole. I see his toothpaste, and I had a really nice conversation. I forgot, I had dinner with him, and he's a very nice individual, very smart, but just a wonderful person, very funny. He's hilarious. He's an absolutely hilarious guy. In fact, he'd be fun to have on the show sometime. He'd give you a run for your money. And
I would welcome it.
I know you would, so I got to get him on. In fact, when I see him this weekend, I'll ask him if he wants to be on the show sometime.
Yeah, get him on Thursday. Oh, and this weekend you're going to see him. Okay, get him on this weekend.
Yeah. I won't see him until Friday. But so anyway, so I buy a bunch of this toothpaste, and I thought, okay, you know what? I'm not going to go gangbusters and do anything different than what I've done before. I know you're supposed to brush morning and night. I don't. I brush in the mornings and once a month if I remember it, or my mouth just tastes horrible, I might brush at night, but it's pretty rare. Okay. So I thought, I'm not gonna start brushing twice a day just because it's the right thing to do. I just want to see if this toothpaste really makes a difference.
Without changing your habit.
Without changing my habit. The only thing I'm changing is the toothpaste I use. So I'm still going to brush one. So I go get a full cleaning done at my dentist back in Wichita, Craig Boynton. He is one of the most amazing human beings I've ever known. He's just an unbelievably amazing dentist as well. But just such a great person. But anyway, I go get a full clean. I get like everything, boom, good to go. And she's telling me, Sean, you need to floss. And the same thing she's been telling me for years. You need to floss, you do this, and look at all these pockets you got. You've got pockets that are as deep as 8. I got a bunch of 7s. There's 6s and 5s and 4s all over the place. And so I say, okay, cool, thanks. And then I disregard her advice like I always do. And I just start brushing with Revite. 3 months later, she wants me to come back in for a checkup, right? Mm-hmm. I come back 3 months later. Of the 21 teeth that I had that were in a state of gum disease, mm-hmm. there was only 2 left.
Now, Sean, how much of that though is attributable to the fact that you had the deep cleaning done?
Well, yeah, sure. The cleaning is gonna help, but I've had my teeth cleaned plenty of times before, and I haven't had results like this. Mm-hmm. Certainly the cleaning is gonna help, mm-hmm. but this. Even the dental hygienist and my buddy, they both said, this is amazing. They said, oh boy, you're doing everything right. It looks great. Like, we can't believe how much improvement you've shown in just 3 months. And I tell you, man, my gums don't bleed anymore. And like I said, they're getting, you
didn't change anything but the toothpaste with this.
That's all I did. That's all I changed was the toothpaste. And like I said, I had some 8s. I had a few 7s. There was only one it went from an 8 to a 7.
Mm-hmm.
I had a few 6s. But like literally, it was the improvement was astounding. I mean, if you look at the numbers, the difference before and after, and like I said, there was, and I say each one of those points that they tell you that's in a periodontal disease, like most of the teeth of the 21 had like 3 or 4 spots on them that were, of the 6. Like I said, they needed the edge and the end in the middle on both sides, and so most of those teeth had like 3 or 4 places that were in a state of periodontal disease of the 21 teeth. So really, you're looking at more like about, probably I didn't even count it, but you're talking 60 plus spots on my gums that are in periodontal disease. The one tooth has 1 spot and the other tooth has 2 spots. I went from like 60 down to 3 spots. Wow. That were, and it's such a, that's a simple, and I love stuff like this because it's a simple, easy change. It's a change that anybody can make. It's a toothpaste.
You just changed the brand, not the habit.
Right, exactly. And I love it when you can give somebody something that is going to make their life better, and the only difference is the tube of toothpaste looks different, and instead of tasting like mint, it tastes like orange. It's got a citrusy flavor. But I just thought that was so cool. And the whole point of that, obviously, I love the Revitin, and if anyone, you can go find it online or whatever. Talk to your dentist, see if they can carry it for you. It's not hard to get. And you can only get it. I believe you can only get it through a physician. Now that I say you can get it online, I'm not sure if you can.
Are you saying it's a prescription? Are you saying that it's a prescription item?
It's not a prescription. No, there's even the nutrition that I use for my programs when I put a person on a nutrition program. It's stuff that you can only get through a physician. You don't need a prescription for it, but physicians, a lot of these companies, they don't want their stuff out on the market in general. Because if someone's going to take their product, they want it to be kind of a little bit more monitored. So the person, is not taking too much or, taking it the wrong way or whatever the case might be. Because even nutrition, well-made nutrition, it's powerful. It really can affect your body, and even in ways you don't want it to, if you take too much of it or take it in the wrong way, or whatever the case might be. So a lot of these nutrition companies will only sell through a physician, and part of that too is also it's a brand protection thing. You don't want to cheapen it. If you start selling it through, now all of a sudden, like a bottle of nutrition that should go for $20, you might find it online. Some guy's just selling it, for like $10 or whatever, just to get it off the shelves. It cheapens the brand, and so they also have price. Just like if you go to buy a pair of I think it's Oakley's, for instance, Oakley has to sell those glasses at $150 or whatever the price is. They can't advertise them for less. Maybe they could do a discount coupon. I don't know, but the nutrition is the same way. Like Systemic Formulas, Designs for Health, Metagenics or Metametrics. I'm sorry. No, Metagenics. Yeah, Metagenics. And there's a few other ones out there that they have a price point set, and you're not allowed to sell it. If it's in your clinic and someone comes in and you're like, hey, we're doing 20% off all nutrition today, that's fine, but you can't advertise that. And so it's really it's a protection mechanism so that the product doesn't get cheapened. Because now all of a sudden, if people think they can get it cheaper somewhere else, then they're going to go do that.
Of course.
I've actually had people that go, well, I found this same stuff, and maybe it was a nutrition that wasn't through a physician only, and they'll go, well, I found it online for like $4 cheaper.
Yeah, but then how confident are you that it's not a knockoff?
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's not a knockoff, I go, that's fine. But when you're using it, don't come ask me for questions on how to use it.
Yeah. Not only that, but by the time you pay the shipping and everything else, and you're probably
And that's exactly in that specific conversation. That's exactly what happened. I said, "Yeah, did you factor in shipping?" You're like, "Oh, no, I didn't do that." Like, of course you didn't do that. You just want me to knock the price down for you, and it's not going to happen because you're not paying me for just this product. You're paying for my expertise of understanding how this product works. So, a lot of it's the same thing. Like even Craig, like back in Wichita, when I told him about Revitin, his first question, which is a very legitimate question, he goes, "So if this is feeding bacteria, he goes, what if I give it to a person who's got all the wrong bacteria in their mouth? Is it feeding the bad and that's going to make it worse? And which is a legitimate question. Maybe you've got a person who's got so much periodontal disease, the last thing you want to do is feed that bacteria. First, you need to get that under control, and then you need to start feeding a good microbiome. And so things like that. It's just there's a potential for people to screw themselves up, even with something as simple as.
Sean, do me a favor. Define microbiome.
Okay, so micro, of course, being tiny, and we're talking like bugs, but your microbiome is the makeup of the living organisms that live within
the natural. Is that like natural bacteria?
Yeah, the natural bacteria, virus, enzymes, whatever. But yeah, so primarily you're looking at bacteria and virus. But the ones like, your mouth has its own oral microbiome. You have your gut microbiome in your digestive system. Your skin has a microbiome. Women have a vaginal microbiome. Matter of fact, that vaginal microbiome, I was talking to somebody about this the other day about, when a baby's born, it gets coated in its mom's vaginal microbiome, and all those bacteria that are important for health get into the baby, gets on the skin, get into its mouth and nose and stuff, and that's its first real exposure to the outside world of to the bacteria that are going to keep it healthy or make it sick. And so the mom needs to have a healthy microbiome, vaginal microbiome. Well, even if she's got that, but she goes and she has a cesarean section, you're bypassing that whole step, and they're finding that kids who are born cesarean section aren't getting that initial exposure to their mom's microbiome, that they're actually having more health problems. And
so let me back you off a little bit. So what you're saying is that the natural childbirth, as opposed to cesarean section, creates the beginning of a what's the word I want to use? The body's ability to resist foreign bacteria.
Right, exactly.
It's immunization. Yeah. It's the beginning of its immunization process.
It is exactly what it is. It is your initial immunization process. Because when you get a bad bacteria, and the good bacteria fight against it just as much as anything else. So that's why we call like if you have an overgrowth, like they call it a gut dysbiosis, they call it, is when you get an overgrowth of the bad bacteria because of things you've been doing. Maybe you've been eating the wrong foods, or you've been taking antibiotics that have killed all the good bacteria, and now you get an overgrowth. Or women will get they'll take antibiotics, and all of a sudden they'll get a yeast infection, because there's a bad bacteria overgrowth. And so we need to keep that microbiome in check. And actually, when in more natural places, other parts of the world for sure, and I think the United States is starting to catch up to this, what they're realizing is the best thing to do on a cesarean section is to actually swab the mom in her vaginal canal, and then actually swab inside the baby's mouth with that. And it sounds kind of gross when you say it that way, but it's actually, that's introducing that microbiome. You kind of put it on the baby's lips. I don't want to stick it like in his mouth, but you put it on the lips and kind of introduce it to the body of the baby, because it's that important that we transfer that. So the microbiome is just all those living organisms that exist in and outside of our body that help us maintain. You would die without your microbiome. I mean, you wouldn't be able to fight off anything. You wouldn't be able to digest food. There's a ton of things that you couldn't do if you didn't have a healthy microbiome. In fact, for most sick people who are chronically sick, the first thing you do almost in every case is you fix the microbiome. You fix the gut. That's almost always the first thing you do.
That's really interesting.
Because So the oral microbiome, going back to that, the Revite and the toothpaste, is that's what it does. Is it feeds the good microbiome in and that's where it all starts right there. That's where digestion first starts, and having a healthy oral microbiome is going to lead to healthy oral health. Your teeth and gums, and that's going to lead to overall health. People who have heart disease, for instance, they're required to take an antibiotic before they go to the dentist, because something can break off a piece of bacteria could break loose and get in the bloodstream and actually cause a heart attack. That's how important our oral health really is it needs to be. We need to have good. There's a huge, massive connection between oral health and heart health. It's huge. Wow. And there's actually a very strong connection between, they're starting to discover the connection between the number of root canals a person gets and their cases of cancer. Or
really? There's a direct correlation between root canals and cancer?
Yeah, because of the chronic state of inflammation. Root canals, and most root canals leave, because they always leave behind dead tissue. Mm-hmm. And if it's not done 100% perfectly, there's going to be something in there that's going to fester. It's going to create a chronic low-level infection, and you're going to constantly be releasing these bacteria. And they're saying that, one of the causes now they're discovering of cancer is root canals that were improperly
the procedure was improperly done. Hey, listen, my friend, we are out of time. I am looking so forward to seeing you on Thursday.
I know we're going to have a fun time.
We're going to have a great time. I look forward to seeing you around noon, I hope.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be getting you some jambalaya.
All right, you got it, my friend. Stay safe, stay happy, keep everybody around you happy, and man, I'm really looking forward to Thursday.
Me too, Robert. I'll see you then. Thanks for everything. It was a great time today.
Thank you. And the rest of you folks, stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to be doing the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. And then we're going to follow that up with our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Today's story, The Light Show. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back. Don't go away, folks.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:43 p.m. Pacific time. It's 66 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in London, England, well, it's 45 degrees. It is mostly cloudy. And if you're in Vienna, Austria, it's 43 degrees and it is clear. But right now, I want to talk to you about the Harvard Business Tip of the Day. And the management tip today is marketers need a defined social media strategy. Yes, sir. Investing time and resources in a social media strategy is only a smart move if you have a well-defined approach. Too many marketers make the mistake of trying to talk to everyone in every social channel, which makes it impossible to define the right voice, content, and measure of success. A better method is to narrowly identify whom you want to listen to and communicate with. Are you targeting millennials entering the workforce, dads with young children, or senior executives nearing retirement? What are they doing on social media, and where are they doing it? What are consumers saying about your brand, products, services, and competitors? Start with simple Google searches on your brand name, analytics tools within social networks, and secondary research sources such as Pew Research and Edison Research to identify larger trends in social media use. This information will set you on the right path to defining a targeted strategy. Always good advice from the folks at the Harvard Business School. Well, let's talk about a positive mental attitude. Yes, sir, it's the secret daily teaching for your life. You decide if you're going to be happy, sad, rich, poor, a success, or a failure. You decide if people around you are going to do well. You do it every morning when you get up and you look in the mirror and you say, wow, I'm going to have a special, fantastic, productive, profitable day today, and I'm going to take everybody along with me. Well, the teaching for today is to master yourself, to master your thoughts. You do not have to control your thoughts. If you try to control your thoughts, you'll attract having to control your thoughts. If negative thoughts come, don't resist them. Just let them be. And then use the power of your will to change focus to thoughts of appreciation and gratitude. Worrying about negative thoughts or trying to control them just brings more of them right back at you. If you don't resist negative thoughts, they'll diminish. And if you laugh at them and make light of them, they'll disappear completely. You control everything. Well, you know what today is. I do, you do, everybody does. Today is Tuesday, and it's November the 1st, and, yep, it's somebody's birthday. Yes, sir. And we've got some terrific birthdays today. So you know what? We might as well just get right to them. And right off the top, here is a fellow who was born in 1957, a singer-songwriter whose most recent album was released, where it debuted and peaked at number 2 on the charts. Happy birthday, Lyle Lovett. You know, one time was married to Julia Roberts. Give that a thought. Wow. Anyway, here's somebody born in 1972, an actress who became an activist promoting scientifically unsupported claims that vaccines cause autism. Boy, I'm glad I'm doing this now instead of on Thursday because Sean would be all over me. Happy birthday, Jenny McCarthy. And then finally, born in 1975, American singer and musician who placed second in Carrie Underwood in the 4th season of American Idol. Happy birthday, Bo Bice. Yes, sir. Well, you ever wonder what was going on today in history? You don't have to wonder anymore because I'm about to tell you. On November the 1st, 1941, American photographer Ansel Adams takes a picture of a moonrise over the town of Hernandez, New Mexico, that would become one of the most famous images in the history of photography. And in 1960, while campaigning for president of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy announces his idea of the Peace Corps. Wow. You know what? Our quote for today comes from Cahill Gillibrand and says, "A little knowledge that acts is worthy infinitely more than much knowledge that is idle." Now, that is profound. That is true. Well, I'll tell you what, time for those interesting but useless facts. We've got a little bit of time. We'll give you a little bit of these things. Right off the top, did you know that Jackie Bibby holds the record for sitting in a bathtub with the most live rattlesnakes? He sat in a tub with 35 of them. God, what a nut. He deserved to get bit at least 35 times, and I won't even tell you, maybe 35 places. Anyhow, did you know that hummingbirds can weigh less than a penny? Oh, that's interesting. Did you know that hummingbirds are the only birds that can fly backwards? That's kind of interesting. And they can actually fly still. They can hold their position. How about this one? Among primitive people, the soul normally is said to escape through the mouth or nose. Now, in the Celebes, when a person is very sick, his friends will often attach fish hooks in certain places. If the soul tries to escape, it gets hooked. Don't know about that one. How about this? Birds are largely unaffected by spicy things like chilies, as they're not sensitive to capsaicin, the hot stuff in chilies. Now, that's kind of interesting if you think about it. Well, let me give you this last one. Oscar Verhage of Unkel, Belgium, can multiply 4-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers in 15 seconds without a pencil or paper. Now, Verhage can give square roots, cube enormous numbers, and square large sums in less than a half a minute. Once, under test conditions, he calculated the square of 888, 888, 888, 888, 888, in 40 seconds. And the answer is, forget it, I'm not going to give that to you, except for this mathematical ability, Verhage had the mental capacity of a child. Yeah, well, now you know the rest of that story, but what you don't know is our tribute to the great late Paul Harvey and the rest of the story, and that's coming up next, and it's going to be The Light Show, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And it's time for our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. You know, the American Broadcasting Company calls him the biggest voice in America. He's Paul Harvey, and each week, millions of listeners, viewers, and readers were awaiting his unraveling of the mysteries of events in the lives of people past and present. He was heard in over 1,400 radio stations, seen on 110 television stations, and read in 300 newspapers. The rest of the story has for years been exploring the byways of history with revelations that are intriguing, amusing, and surprising. And today's story, The Light Show. You know, on the night of April 14th, the ocean liner Californian has progressed to within 1,500 miles of her destination, Boston Harbor. Midnight. Second Officer Herbert Stone is due for watch on the bridge. Reporting for duty, Stone finds his apprentice seaman glued to a pair of binoculars staring toward the black horizon. He, the apprentice, has sighted a steamer in the distance. He can make out the ship's masthead light, her red light, and a glare of white lights on her afterdeck. Stone asks the apprentice to try for communication by means of the Californian's Morse lamp. A bright beacon signal is flashed. No answer from the steamer. Will that be all, sir? Stone nods. The apprentice leaves to make record in the patent log. Now, Second Officer Stone is alone on the bridge, glancing idly over the water. A white flash catches his eye, a white flash of light in the direction of the distant steamer. Stone scratches his head, picks up the binoculars. Four more white flashes, like skyrockets bursting in the heavens. Stone notifies the ship's captain. Over the voice pipe, the captain asks if the flashes appear to be company signals. Stone cannot say for sure. The captain then requests further communication attempt through the Morse lamp. By now, Stone's apprentice has returned to the bridge. The beacon signal is employed once more. Still, no answer from the steamer. Lifting the binoculars to his eyes once more, Stone observes three more flashes in the continuing light show, but now his attention is drawn to the steamer's cabin lights. They seem to be disappearing, as though the steamer were sailing away. At 1:40 a.m., Stone sees the eighth and last white flash in the night sky. In 1 hour, all the steamer's lights have vanished into the blackness. It is not until 4 a.m. that anyone on board the liner Californian learns the rest of the story. Neither the captain nor the second officer aboard the Californian had interpreted the white skyrocket flashes as cause for alarm. It was a matter of coincidence that they had been seen in the first place. For earlier that night, the night of April 14th, the Californian had reversed engines and parked as a precautionary measure, halted in her course by an immense field of oceanic ice. That unscheduled stop in the middle of the sea had provided the Californian a ringside seat for an unimaginable drama. The distant steamer had intended those rocket flares as distress signals, and the Californian, only 9 miles away, might have rushed to her aid. Except for one thing, the steamer was sending other distress calls by radio, and the Californian was well within range of those messages, but her radio operator was asleep. The Californian's fledgling radio operator, fresh from training school, was fast asleep in his cabin. In that night, the ship's second officer, from his vantage point on the bridge, unwittingly watched the sinking of the Titanic. And now you know the rest of the story. Well, on my next show, I'm going to be talking about the biggest tax mistakes that seniors are making today, and I'm also going to be answering your emails. I do that once a week. And then Joel Saltzman, our own Dr. Wireless, is going to be here talking about new wireless technology news. And then I'll continue our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Tomorrow's story is going to be Excuses, Excuses. You're not going to want to miss it. Please tell all your friends about our show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.